there's some Russian characters in here as well, I think, on there, like the $sign, euro sign, pound sign, tons of them, the double arrow, and there's what the HTML entities function does is whenever it comes across a character like that, it just turns it into an HTML entity, and we've already covered what HTML entity is. It's the and then the special set of characters. So that can be helpful for the user, and it can be helpful for us. It can be helpful for the user in that, say, he has some special character, like a character with an accent over it. Maybe our server can't handle those kinds of characters. I'd be very surprised if it could, but let's just say theoretically. But our server can handle all kinds of HTML entities because that's actually part of HTML. So by converting it into an HTML entity, it actually helps out the user because it makes sure that it doesn't throw some cryptic error that the user won't understand. He doesn't realize it's just the fact that he's got a character with an accent in there. So, but it also, say we've got a malicious user who tries to put actual HTML in his username or something, like bold tags around it just to look special or something, which is technically a form of cracking, so you don't really want it going on, and if he finds out that's a weakness, he can find out other weaknesses as well, and you can potentially get into your website and everything. So this HTML entities function helps in both senses. Anyway, we just use that on the username, and then we do exactly the same thing as we did for the username with the password. And again, if we do retrieve the value, we use the escape string and HTML entities on it, and then the value between these is again just the value from the post array. Okay. Now we check to see if there are no errors, as in, is the errors array empty. We'll come on to what happens if it is, but if it isn't, else here we go. Skip this line for a sec, don't worry about it. But then we print out that there are some errors, couple of line breaks, and then we loop through the errors array, printing out each error. And then you can see here it says redirecting in 3 seconds. That's actually what this line does. It's a nifty little trick, just because this page doesn't actually have the form on it itself. So we're just helping out the user by making sure he doesn't have to actually click back and go up to the back, just being a lazy aid basically. And the way we do this is we have to open a meta tag, and the HTTP-equivalent is a refresh basically. Content equals, and then the number here specifies the number of seconds before it goes to the URL specified here. Okay, in this case I'm saying go back to the index page which has the form on it. Okay, so you can change these around, change the number of seconds. Make sure you have that URL equals, by the way, and the semicolon as well to separate the two things. Now let's look at actually what happens if there are no errors. We basically just make a query, insert into users. You can understand all this, and then we say the values. Make sure you put the values between quote. Make sure you put the variable name between quotes, like so. Okay, and we're just passing in the user and password respectively. Remember, these have to be the same order as these. Okay, we just run the query. This I've covered this already. It checks to see if the query ran properly. If it did, we say registered. If it didn't, we say error, and we output MySQL error, which will get the error from the most recent database connection. Okay, and just to check everything works, we've got a view users page. Really simple. Just selects all the fields from users, runs the query, collects all the data in collects each row singly, looping through them with the while loop, and prints out each user's username and password. Obviously you wouldn't print out the password in an actual website because that would be stupid, but yeah, this is just for demonstration. So let's take a look at index.php then. We'll enter in a sib. I'll say my password is hi, I'm, or capital capitalize it all. I'm going to put an apostrophe in there as well, just to show you it works. And so it says I've been registered. Let's go to view users, and there you can see, and we've got that apostrophe there just to prove that works as well. Now let's try some actual malicious attempts. I'll type what I'm going to put in the password up here so you can actually see it first. I'm going to put a couple of HTML tags in here. Okay, let's copy that, paste that in there, and then just say a sib again up here. Register myself. Okay, I've been registered. It's gonna maybe type it all, users.php. And there we go, we can see it prints out these tags, but it doesn't actually implement any of them. You can see, well, we've got a line break, there's clearly no line break. Just so you know, I've put everything in bold already. If I just take out these bold tags, take them out just so you can see. Refresh that. There you go, see, it's not making anything bold. And if we take a look, if we actually browse in the database, you can see all the HTML entities here. Okay. Let's have a look at, well actually I was going to say I'll just show you finally. Common SQL injection is single quote or single quote equals single quote. This is a very common SQL injection, and I'll just put my name as it. Now the way we can tell, this is just weirding out, one second, let me go back. Okay, there we go. The way we can tell if this is working, the SQL injection is working, is if MySQL throws an error. That actually reveals to us that we can inject this website. The way we can tell it's not working is if it actually registers us, because then obviously all the quotes and stuff aren't affecting it, so it's not working. It's pretty self-explanatory. So it says we're registered, so obviously it didn't really work then. If I take a look at it, we can just see, there it is. Okay guys, well this has been a quick tutorial, well, fairly quick. Let's take a look at the damage, 15 minutes. I feel like I've covered everything without stuttering too much and everything though, so I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Next tutorial we're going to be looking at using hidden input types, a really effective way of transferring data in HTML and PHP. Anyways, for now, over and out.